So while reading this book, my my goal was basically to find out, is fiction good or bad? And this is something I've really been contemplating on. For I even made videos on this or on other books talking about, is fiction good or bad? Are there benefits to it? And I pretty much got the same answer in this book that I've been getting across all other books, which is fiction. It allows you to experience the world more. And there's a quote that I've read yesterday actually, and it's ironic I remember it, or it's coincidental I remember because I haven't thought about it since until now basically. And the quote is, "A good reader lives 1,000 lives, while a bad reader lives only one life." And what I was trying to say is, if you read books, like you can experience just the world more. And I guess I'm experiencing a little more of the world, and or maybe I'm just experiencing more of my mind through through this stuff. But yeah, since I've read some fiction books, and it allows you to experience the world more. Like I got to know what it was like living in the Mediterranean, by the Mediterranean Sea in 1960. So, maybe I did learn some more about the world, but or no, I should say. But the one thing that I found out that was surprising, and this is like so true in my life, almost so true, is that nonfiction readers, so people who predominantly read nonfiction, they tend to have a lack of a social life. And obviously, I don't know if you know, but well, yeah, you see my videos, so all of my, not all of them, but my theory, which is a pretty well known theory, is that we're social creatures, and I can't even say it's my theory, but my way of thinking of it, because when we sleep, we dream of basically other people. If you know the social simulation theory, when we talk, you predominantly are going to be talking to someone else. When we dress, well, most people they dress for other people. I pretty much just put clothes on and leave. And when we do things, people usually do things for other people. But since I'm kind of, I pretty much kind of live in solitude because I pretty much just in my room all day reading. And I've been watching movies recently, and that's another reason I've picked this book up, because I wanted to know, what about it. And they didn't necessarily say if it was good or bad. They didn't say if fiction was worthwhile. And so this was kind of just a straight theoretical work. But one thing that they did say was that reading brings pleasure. And if you know, pleasure is basically what people want. Because pleasure is happiness. And, people, they take drugs to be happy. So if you can find pleasure in reading a book, then you don't have to take drugs. You don't have to use money and you have a chance of going to prison. So fiction is good in a sense. And fiction is not, it doesn't mean fake. The real definition of fiction is that something that may happen. So it's like a simulation of another life. That's pretty much the way he put it. Just a simulation of another life. Or, just another time in general. So fiction is, it's good. It brings you pleasure, but that's pretty much it. It's kind of like, a drug, pretty much in a sense. Like I don't see any difference between it. Like it brings you pleasure and that's it. But hey, if the pleasure for you is worthwhile, if a state of happiness is worthwhile to you, then fiction is fine. Especially if you're reading good fiction instead of, I don't know, depressing stuff. Yeah, I've read some relatively sad books, some books that put me in a state of dejection, but But when you think back on it, you have a good experience with it, or at least I have a good experience with it. So it's fiction is good. It's probably a better pastime than reading a book is probably a better pastime than a lot of other things. But I think I'm gonna stick with nonfiction because I really enjoy reading these philosophical works, these just other stuff. But actually, now that I think about it, I did pick up a fiction book yesterday. So who knows? I might get into fiction again. You know, but for now, I just know that it's kind of I know the good part of it and the bad part of it now. So I can judge it and become enlightened with the topic of fiction now. Because now I can have my conclusion on whether if I think it's good or bad. All I need is just a little more experience with fiction in my new mind. So this was Such Stuff as Dreams and the Psychology of Fiction.